You ever just want to run around blasting things with a shooter and smashing things with a chopper? I think it's time I joined a WA. So step 1 would be to prime the entire miniature black. Step 2 would be to paint it a dark green color for your first base coat. I went with kind of a olive green dark color. Step 3 is to forget to record all of that. So we're jumping in with our first highlight color. I took a lighter green and I added it to my base color, then I watered it down significantly and started glazing on highlights. I prefer glazing because I feel it lets me get the smoothest highlight on a miniature. It is also very important to remember that just because you glaze on a highlight, your eyes can see it because it's wet paint. When it dries, it will not be that opaque. Let it dry. You're gonna have to glaze a few times before you actually achieve a highlight. With your second highlight, rinse and repeat. Add a little bit more of the brighter green to the mix of the base coat and that brighter green from the first one. Water it back down if necessary to keep the same consistency, and glaze again towards where you want the brightest points of the skin to be, covering a little bit less area than you did with the first highlight. You know, when I started painting orcs, I didn't really like the models because to me they just look goofy. Their head is stuck way forward on their chest almost, and they got ass for days. It's just, they like got this huge arch in their back. But once I started painting them, man, their details and their faces and stuff like that, it's just amazing. There's so much detail in them. Now, if you stay patient with your glazing and keep adding more and more of your highlight color in, you will begin to develop a very smooth gradient. And at the end of it, your orc should end up looking something like this. Guess who forgot to record painting the leather shirt? This guy! So obviously you want to start with a dark color for the tunic and then paint the straps going over the shirt in a brighter leather to make them stand out more. So, for any of you lore nerds out there, like myself, everybody knows that specific colors are important to the orcs. Red goes faster, just stuff like that. Well, purple is no exception. Purple is the color of stealth. And it's because, have you ever seen a purple orc? No, you have not. So I thought giving this guy purple colored boots, it would look like he didn't have feet. Now it's time to take a lighter brown, a highlight color brown, and start scuffing up the edges of the leather. Just make little scratch marks throughout where the leather would stretch and be aged. And don't forget to get the edges if there's any rips or anything on it. Those need to be highlighted as well. Now it's time to put base coat on the pants, and I chose red, one, because it's just another color that's significant to orcs. Red means faster. But since we're painting his pants red, I don't know if that means he's going to move faster or if bathroom breaks will take significantly less time. Now, since orcs are not known far and wide across the universe for their hygiene, we're going to give his pants and boots a black wash with some Nuln Oil. Now I'm just going to highlight once with the base color that I used originally for the pants and the shoes because I want them to be highlighted, but I don't want them to be over highlighted. I want the eye to be drawn up towards the skin and specifically the highlights on the face. So highlight the pants and shoes once, leave it at that, and let's move on to the metallics. Now we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade and glaze it over the weapons, but only on the parts that are not sharpened. So we want the edges of the axe and the sword, where the cutting would be done, to still be shiny, because that would be somewhat maintained even by an orc. Time to paint the skull on the end of his choppa and his teeth. Give him the bone treatment. Start with a darker bone color and wash it with Agrax Earthshade, and then highlight back up and add either white to your original base coat to highlight, or grab a lighter, more opaque bone color. Now we can add something that I thought was really cool. I wanted to make it look like his choppa had just taken a head. And the easiest way to do that is to take a blood color, be it blood from the blood god or corn red, which is what I used, and drag from the blade down. And you're not looking for a perfect paint job by any means here. You want it to look streaky and nasty so that it looks like he just took a hit. And with that, we're just going to put base on it, whatever kind of base you like. And we're going to dot his one remaining eye red, because he has a scar on his face. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you the finished product here. If you like this video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. I hope that this video makes you want to subscribe to this channel. I got much more coming up, but I thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the model.